With Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed being a 4 versus 1 asymmetrical game, there are two teams with a difference in power levels. But can a game with a team of 4 versus a single overpowered force actually be balanced? Well, yes. I mean, somewhat. But from how I've been playing this game and what I've experienced, this doesn't seem like one of those balanced games to me. Or does it? Let's talk about it. As someone who's played a ton of asym games such as DBD, even back when it was in the beta, to Video Horror Society for over a year now, I seem to always gravitate towards the one-person role, usually the killer or monster role. So I have a lot of experience being solo against multiple others, which might add to how I see this game as being a tad out of balance. And out of 9 hours of playing now, I still haven't lost a single time as Ghost. Like actually spawning in, going around, detonating my own rifts, which are the respawn points, losing all my lives, and even then I'm still not losing. Now the game releases here in a few hours, and this could obviously change. Maybe everyone in the early previews is just not great at being a Ghostbuster, no offense, or maybe it'll just take a bit of time for people to learn how to use teamwork against the Ghost player. And surprisingly, that is a very common theme with these asymmetrical games. It just takes time. The game could come out and everyone will be complaining about how OP a certain role is, but then people actually start learning how the game is meant to be played on the opposite side, and the meta shifts completely. Recently this happened with a game I've been covering for over a year now, where people complained at the beginning that the monster role was way too OP. Now however, 6 or more patches in a row have all been monster buffs, because over time people learned that teamwork on the side of the teens was the way to go, and the teen role was actually the overpowered one. So we'll have to wait and see in a few weeks or a few months to really know if the Ghost is overpowered or if the Ghostbusters are the true winners of this debate. On the flip side, back when Evil Dead the game came out, even 2 weeks after, I still didn't know what the match win screen looked like for the survivor role. I only ever lost one single match as Demon in that game over a ton of hours of playtime. However, the Reddit and Twitter and almost all the players unanimously agreed that the Demon role was way too hard. And a lot of people couldn't get a single win and no one wanted to play the role. And I think to this day, still people don't want to. So is Ghostbusters more in the direction of VHS where only time will tell which side is stronger or if there is a perfect balance? Or is it like Evil Dead where I was just super skilled or lucky, but everyone else is genuinely needing buffs for the role? Well, here's where things get a little interesting. I've played a lot on the Ghostbuster side as well, and I've lost to many Ghost players, and seemingly all for the exact same reason. One of the most OP parts about the Ghost role right now is that the match timer is in their favor, and the Ghost has to be busted at least one time in the match. This is achieved by the 4 busters taking out the 3 rifts, and then finally busting the Ghost once at the end. But what's been happening and what's already developed as a seemingly OP tactic for the Ghost players is to just hide in props and run from the busters the whole game. As soon as you're found, you don't fight. You just run, fly away, and you'll never be caught because you're faster and have a lot to work with. As a buster, this can be super frustrating since all you have is your 2 legs and a stamina bar, so trying to chase a Ghost as if you're the killer in DBD is a tough task. The whole map is on a timer in the Ghost's favor, and once it runs out, the game is over. The Ghost doesn't need to interact with you at all. They could literally just run and hide all game. So yeah, in my eyes, with this tactic alone, I feel as though currently the Ghost is more OP and can almost always guarantee a victory. But one last time, I'll throw back to what we discussed in the beginning of the video. That was that teamwork makes the dream work in these asym games. And honestly, I have not been having a good teamwork with these random players in the early preview. So maybe that's just it. Sure, currently the Ghost is overpowered in my eyes. I've never lost as him, and I lose against him a ton, but I really genuinely think it's all because as a buster and going against other busters, I haven't seen or used good team coordination to really one-up the Ghost. This game has a ton of tools to find and slow and even catch up to a running or hiding Ghost, the gas grenades to almost make the Ghost come to a complete halt, the grapple to catch up to a flying Ghost, the radar and ecto goggles to track. I think once people realize the potential of their equipment and the gear cart and know the map layouts a bit more, I feel the Ghostbusters will reach the great heights that the Ghost currently is ruling at. So yeah, surprisingly, I do actually think Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is a balanced game, but it's just currently locked behind a Ghostbuster teamwork, communication, and skill issue. And if you're someone just coming in to bust ghosts and you're too shy to communicate with the mic to your team, well, I'm just like that. And luckily enough, that is why there's a ping system in the game. So ping to your team, let people herd the Ghost in your direction, try cutting off routes and catching them when they're on the move, and please use your equipment and swap it out at the gear cart depending on your situation. I know this video probably took a surprising turn. I just called it unbalanced at the beginning, but as I went through everything and compared different asym games that have suffered the same fate, I actually came to the conclusion that it's probably balanced. Again, time will tell if I'm correct about this, but I've seen so many asyms have the same exact feeling where I might think overall super OP just because I'm winning constantly, 100 wins in a row on this role, but then it actually turns out this is the weaker role. Or the game is balanced, but I just am skillful as a role. I'll definitely make a follow-up video to this if I do ever figure out which role is more OP, or if the game does have a perfect balance and is one of the only asyms out there that has it. But yeah, hope everyone has a fun time playing this new asym, and I'll see you guys all in the next one, or in game.